All right. So this is season two's winner of the Life Coaching Mentorship Series, Heather Wilson, and she is going to be coached by me for the next 3 months as she builds up her online coaching biz. And that way the world gets to see the real behind the scenes journey of what it's like to build a successful coaching business. I'm so excited for you all to meet Heather. She's has such an amazing energy and soul to her. I know that you are all going to fall in love with her just like I did the first time I met her. She has a really big, beautiful life story that is why she feels called to become a coach at this time. So, Heather, I would love for you to introduce yourself to our audience and tell them, where you're at in the world right now. Also, tell them the really cool information you just told me literally before we started recording. And then a little bit about your personal story and how it led you to becoming a coach.
My name is Heather Wilson. Like she said, I am 35 years old. I'm a mama. I have a 10-year-old son named Bobby. I currently live in an RV full time, so doing the RV mobile life, which has been an interesting venture for the past year, especially during COVID and all of that. So it's been a huge shift. And because of COVID, I pivoted into coaching. So it's something that I've always enjoyed doing, but it was kind of time to take that leap of faith into creating my own income. And what really got me into coaching is about a decade ago, I got really sick. I had 4 autoimmune diseases, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, Lyme's disease, Crohn's, fibromyalgia, and then I also had like adrenal fatigue and a bunch of other symptoms. So I was having a lot of health issues. During the holistic experience, I realized a lot of my physical symptoms were showing up because of my emotional body, just the emotions I was suppressing, not addressing, and holding in, and they were starting to physically manifest in my body as dis-ease. Connecting those dots and also shifting my diet, removing certain foods that were causing issues with me, and hiring an awesome team of holistic practitioners to help me really rebuild my body and heal, was able to bring me, from the brink of death, because I got so sick that I almost died a couple times during that experience. And yeah, it brought me out of that within, the first time when I had Hashimoto's and Crohn's and fibromyalgia, it was like 4 to 5 months, and I was back on my feet, feeling much better and able to return back to work and return back to living and all of those things. And then 2016, I got hit with Lyme's, and after that one, once I figured out what really is the cause of Lyme's, which is really just like Epstein-Barr virus and some other viruses that are in the body. After I figured that out, that took about 6 months to, it was probably 6 to 9 months. That took a little bit longer, but yeah, so I've been able to, come out of some very scary places, and I've been on a journey of healing myself emotionally after the trauma, because when I was going through the health issues, it just wasn't the space to address my emotions at that time on because you're in survival mode. So,
Right.
so now, after that experience, I've been really cleaning up the emotional debris that was left over and the trauma and all of that. And so I'm really passionate about helping other women to really feel their feelings, creating a safe environment for them to feel and express their feelings, for them to have a connection to their feelings and understand how it affects their body physically. And then also to take them through shifting their diet and working on the physical body as well as the emotional body, spiritual body, all of those things. So it's really like bringing everything that I've learned into a beautiful little package and sharing it with other women and helping to empower them and, get their life back.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And then, so basically, it sounds like you are turning your pain into purpose. You are using your hardest life struggles to help others go through maybe similar type of situations. And in addition to that, I know that you are a Reiki instructor as well. And then you are also a hypnotherapist. So it sounds like you're just going to be bringing in like a combination of all of your multi-passions and life experiences to create this beautiful sacred coaching container to help women thrive, right?
Using all the tools and the modalities that I've used for myself, and there's not one tool that works for everybody. So it's great I've tried like every diet. I've tried so many different modalities. So I have the resources. If something's not working for somebody, I have other resources to pull in. So yeah, it'll be really great to, be able to use all of the things that I've experienced and learned to share with other women and empower them.
Yeah, amazing. What a gift you are
Yeah.
giving to the world. I love it.
Thank you.
And then it was when you said that you got Lyme in 2016, it was crazy because 2016 was my hurricane year. And that's a big part of my book that I'm writing right now. And it's funny because that was like my awakening, right? That was when I got divorced. It's when I lost my nursing job. It's when I sold everything and started traveling around the world. And I just like let my former self die. And I stepped into my new identity. And it was really like the universe intervening big time in my life and in saying like, Krista, you need, like shaking me, like, you need to wake up. You're not living in the life that you were meant to live. And it sounds like, you had a similar type of experience.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that when these really big, bad, awful things happen, it's for a reason. And it literally is to wake us up and to rebirth us into a new identity. And it's so hard to do that. For you had a near-death experience, so that alone, but then there's so much trauma you have to work through afterwards. And then there's so many relationships that change. And oh my goodness, it is a hard time. And like you said, you're in survival mode. And that was one of my first times that I started working with a life coach. And I am so grateful I had her because getting through that time on my own, that would have been really challenging. Hence why I 100% believe in the power of coaching and in seeing how it can, change and transform your life when you're going through some of your hardest life situations. So I just thought it was interesting that we're both 35 years old. We had like a really big life awakening in 2016. So I find
that's so interesting that you went through that too, and you say it was like a death, because that's exactly what 2016 was for me too. It was a spiritual death, because I was also going through a big custody thing too, on top of the Lymes, and so it was one of the darkest, most challenging years for sure. And I actually like went through visually experiencing my death and mourning that part of me that was dying. I just went through that experience and like actually allowed myself to physically experience that. Well, not physically, but like emotionally, I guess it would be, visually experience that, because it did feel like something else was being born at that time. And it was a really powerful year. So that's cool that, we both had must have been in the cosmos. We were both experiencing such a shift.
Exactly. And, for anyone who's watching this, who has either gone through something similar or is currently going through it, hopefully this is going to be inspiring for them to see that it's good when these things happen. And when you come out on the other side, you get to do amazing things with your new rebirth, right? And you get to create a beautiful coaching business, and you get to show up in the world a whole new way. So I hope that this is really inspiring and motivating for people who need this. Also, have you ever heard of something called your Saturn return?
Yeah.
So so 2016 was right in the middle of both of our Saturn returns.
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that was a huge time. That was big. Yeah.
And I talk about this in my book, but if anyone doesn't know what a Saturn return is, it's basically like where Saturn does a complete orbit from the time you were born, and it happens usually like in your late 20s to early 30s. And so I was 30,
Yeah.
we were both 30 years old when this happened. And it's just
Yeah.
basically like when everything shifts in life, and it's to get you into this new identity. So it's just, right, again, super interesting that that happened during that time. So,
That is.
okay. Yeah, I know. Crazy, crazy. So, okay, if you could let our audience, quickly know where are you currently at in your coaching business, so they kind of know where you're starting from. So like, what have you done and created so far, or what haven't you done? And then after that, we'll dive into the coaching.
I'm currently calling myself a holistic health coach, but I think that's kind of, I still need to tweak that because of what's come up lately around I'm feeling more connected to working on the emotional aspect of with like trauma and everything around health issues and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what I'll be called by the end of this, but right now, holistic health coach is what I've been relating to. And what I've done so far is I've created I have an Instagram and a Facebook that has my information on there. My partner and I have a website because we have a joint business called Pure Wild Free. And so that's kind of like our mother of our business, and then our branches are both of our coaching business. So we have a website that's almost ready, and then I've written out a couple courses that I'm going to be launching at some point this year, and then I've also written out my program, my 3-month program that I'll be taking women through, just taking notes and learning about how to create a foundation for business. So I've kind of taken the steps on that. And I have a YouTube started. I don't think I've posted anything just yet.
Okay. Which is good, because we talked about you really, I kind of have witnessed that you show up really powerfully on camera and video. So I'm kind of sensing that's going to be your main form of creating content and being able to share your message most powerfully with others. And I think you agreed with that as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I really love to get my voice and just like be able to speak it. It's just so much easier for me to just speak it and share it than to write things out, because I'm very long-winded if I'm writing it. So Instagram only has a certain amount of space for that. So YouTube feels good to be a platform.
And I'm the same as you. And what I always like to tell people is, when they're thinking about marketing in their business, I always say, well, you have 3 different options. Essentially, you have video, you have writing, and then you have audio. So you have like YouTube, or you have like a blog or Facebook or Instagram, or you have a podcast, so which one do you feel like you can most powerfully share your truth on? And for me, like with writing, it just gets stuck. It's frustrating for me. Things don't flow. But when I'm like talking on video, that's when I can just like channel the most and let it come through. So it's amazing how much your intuition and your gifts will dictate what you decide to do in your business. Right. And this is why I don't believe in, I think doing trainings are great. Right. I mean, I've gone through a lot of coach trainings and business trainings, but at the same time, I've learned to like tune out and block out a lot of information that they tell me. And I only let in the stuff that resonates and feels good. Because I just think it's so easy to get trapped into like, well, I should do this. And someone said to do this and this and this. And it's like, no one, at the end of the day, no one knows us. We only know ourselves the best. We know what feels the best. And so that's where we need to be making our business decisions from, is like, right here, right?
Yeah. And just you mentioning that brought up like something that I've, thought I needed to do, which was to be on all the platforms and do all the things. I thought, I was going to write a blog and then have my YouTube channel and then also have social media, but that would be so exhausting. And I know that personally I would be burnt out if I tried to manage all of those. So just like you speaking about the YouTube and just reminding me of my magnetism through video, and that just like, it feels good. It was like a weightlifting, thinking of just focusing on one, like really putting, a lot of energy into one. Doesn't mean I wouldn't post, but my posts wouldn't need to be as, deep and all of that on the other platforms.
Oh,
So yeah, that felt
I
nice.
love that you already had that breakthrough. Cause yeah, that's a common thing with new coaches is they're like, oh my gosh, I got to be on all the platforms. I have to have a blog, I have to have a podcast, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. And like, that is each one in itself it
Yeah.
has its own needs and its own attention. And yeah, so my advice is always to pick one, maybe two platforms in the beginning that you really want to show up consistently for and pour your energy into. And then you can do
Yeah.
those other things later. I don't want to say that you can't have them all,
Right.
show up on them all, but like the one that you're really going to like make it your own at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
that it feels so much better. It feels lighter. It doesn't feel overwhelming. So I'm glad that you already like realized that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and then later on, I can just hire a team to help with the others because,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
You're spot
that
on.
would be
So
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
when you have more support and more help in your business, that's when it gets easier to show up on all those other platforms too.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat back what I heard you say. So right now, sticking with the title of holistic health coach, but you might be open to changing that if something better comes through, because like you said, you also want to focus a lot on emotions as well. Just something around that too, Heather. I struggled with calling myself a life coach and business mentor for the longest time because I was like, I want to do this. Is why people have a hard time niching down, right? Because I'm like, I want
Right.
to do all the things. I want to help people with self-love. I want to help people with confidence. I want to help people with money issues. I want to help people with body insecurities. I want to do it all, right? And then I was
Right.
like, but if I'm helping people build their coaching businesses, I can't talk about that stuff. I can only talk about like how to form your LLC and how to create Instagram, right? But what I realized, Heather, is that once someone came in, right? So you have that like number one thing that grabs people's attention. You have that number one problem that you solve that you become associated with at the end of the day. Right. So for me,
Right.
it was like, I want someone to say, I want to become a life coach. Who do I go to? Oh, I go to Krista. I want that label attached to me. But then what I found, Heather, is that I was doing all the things with my clients because as they're getting ready to start this business, their confidence issues are coming up. Their insecurities are coming up. Their money stuff is coming up. They're having fights with their partner, right? Like, and then all of
Right.
a sudden they're having health issues because they're scared to put themselves out there on social media. Like, so what I found is even if we claim a title and we really market ourselves as solving a certain type of problem for a unique population, it doesn't mean that we can't talk about and coach around all the things that we love.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what are you hearing for yourself in that?
Yeah, that really resonates because I have been kind of like, well, gosh, do I like change my title? If I'm trying to reach a certain audience, so don't want to take on too many things to try to do too many things because I've been learning through Casey Baker. I've been doing like some of her stuff about public speaking and stuff, learning about that. And so she talks about the diamond insight and finding your, that one idea, like what you said, people think of you when life coaching. So
Right,
it's like, what's my one idea that when people think of that, they're going to think of me. And
right,
so that's like that's actually part of one of my goals this month is to pinpoint that, like, what
right.
is that? Because I do have so much experience in life. I've like gone through it all, I feel like, personally. And so I have so many tools and resources and so many different branches I can go down with people. So like narrowing that down into the one thing is like, wow. I want to, I definitely want to be able to do that and feel like I'm really serving my audience in a big way. So,
And you will
yeah,
you'll be able to bring in all of your tools and all of your unique gifts and talents, even if you're like, I want, like, maybe you're like, I want to help women with Lyme disease. I'm a holistic health coach for women with Lyme disease. Super specific, but there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people out there who fit under that description. So then, right at the end of the day, I'm like, I already know actually like 5 people in my life who have Lyme disease that I'm like, I want to refer them to you, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So it's actually gets you more business, and it helps you to stand out above, because there are a lot of coaches out there. Life coaching, professional coaching is the second largest growing industry after the tech industry. So more and more people are becoming coaches. So the more that you can you know, own the thing that you want to be known for, it is going to actually help you to find more clients, and is going to help you to get hired more, and just more opportunities. And I know
Yeah.
that was so hard for me for the longest time to
Yeah.
um, embrace that. And I could probably even narrow down more. Like I said, I help female life coaches become life coaches, but I could probably even get more specific than that. But I just trust that the universe will send me the ideas as they come. And
Right. And the right
okay,
people.
perfect. And then, so this business that you have, this joint business you have with your partner, the Pure Wild Free, what kind of business is that?
It's like a lifestyle business, really. It's the idea of that is really to share our lifestyle, because we do the mobile living and kind of show RV life. And we're just really about living a more grounded way where we're really connected to nature. So pure wild free. So purity, like living very purely by taking care of our bodies, taking care of our planet. The wild is connecting with nature and connecting with animals and just connection with other people. And then the free is the travel and the exploring and experience and all of that. So yeah, that's kind of what our business is about, and we see like creating courses and stuff through that, because together we have a lot of combined knowledge and wisdom in that arena that we want to share and showcase. And so creating courses to share about how to travel for cheap, because we've done that. We've traveled and on the cheap. So yeah, so that's kind of that vision for that. And then we have our coaching. So that's something that really that we can do mobily. And so we're just wanting to create some mobile income streams for when we are venturing out in our RV.
Right. Oh my gosh, I love that name, and it like kind of encompasses everything that you're passionate about,
Right.
which, yeah, you guys did a great job with that. So then, will you be running your coaching business on that site then, like through that brand?
Yeah. So that's where on our website there, it'll have both of us there, so people can choose, because John Paul, my partner, he does transformational coaching, and then and works with both men and women, and then I work just with women. So depending on what people are looking for, then they can check us both out. And
Yeah, I love
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's kind of you. I mean, that's not kind of, it is. That's unique that you're doing a joint business with your partner, and you guys are both coaches. And I've seen a couple of other coaches do that as well, and I think it can work really,
Yeah.
really well. And it's a really unique offering as
Yeah.
too. So I love that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and pull up. So earlier today, I sent you the big picture plan. And this is what I do with all of my clients on the first session to get them really clear on what their top 3 super goals are that they want to work on over the next 3 months. And so tonight we are going to focus on super goal number 1 for you. So it's just real simple. It's a Google Doc, nothing too fancy. And this is also where, so Heather, you have access to this as well. So this is where I'm going to keep track of our sessions.
Okay.
So if you're ever wondering, like, what number session are we on, or what did we talk about last time, it's all going to be under here. So you can just come here.
Awesome. That'll be cool.
And then we'll go through your session prep form each time. And then we'll go through like the wins and the request and plan. But the first session always looks a little bit different than what the rest of the sessions will. So what is the first goal that you want to work on for your coaching business?
Well, for one, I'd really like to pinpoint who my audience is, like pinpoint what my big idea is. What is the thing that I'm here to really lead in.
Mm-hmm.
And also to build. So I'm really wanting to focus on building a foundation, because that's what we were talking about before this session is, like I would really like this business, my coaching business, to be able to have a really strong foundation to where no matter what's going on in my life, no matter how challenging things get, that I have it to fall back on, that it's always there to serve me in big ways beyond my imagination. and that it takes care of me, you know, financially, emotionally, and creatively, and all those things.
All right. So the goal is you want to pinpoint or get really clear about who your ideal audience slash client is that you serve.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And then
Yeah, I like get clear. Get clear is a good way to put it too. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna say get. Okay. And then I always recommend 3 months for the deadline, but if you have, you know, something different that's coming up for you, when would you like to achieve this goal by?
Yeah, we can say 3 months.
Okay. So do you know when, let's see, what would be 3 months from today? So we have March, April, would that be May 1st, right?
I think, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, May.
I know.
Okay, so May 1st is the deadline. And then, you know, you kind of already started to talk about this, but why, right? So a really important thing to address when you're creating goals is the why. Simon Sinek always says start with why. This is going to be your source of motivation to get you through the hard times, to get you through the times where you don't want to show up for your business. So we want to know, like, what is your big why behind wanting to, you know, get clear on your ideal audience and client?
Yeah. So I think for me, it's really like being financially stable is what makes me feel safe. Um, so so having something, you know, having this business to support me in that way financially, so that I can serve in bigger, better ways, because I'm not stressed out about money. And so then I can be in my creative energy, I can be in my heart, I can be in my best health, because I know that when I have financial struggles, that definitely affects my health as well.
And then what do you think could be your biggest obstacles or things that would get in the way with this goal?
Apathy. Apathy is an emotion that sometimes comes up. Comparison would be a big obstacle, comparing myself to others. Self-doubt. Just being too hard on myself. I guess perfectionism, that's a good one. Yeah. Not holding myself accountable.
I'm really curious, when you say apathy, I've never heard anyone like say that as an obstacle. How do you see that as an obstacle?
Well, it's really come up this past year when COVID hit and everything. It just brought up this sense of apathy that just feels like really heavy, and I just like lost interest in life and everything around me, and just didn't like feel passionate about much, or I just like felt, you know, a lot of anger. And so sometimes I think it's whenever I feel just overwhelmed, or inner critic is just being really loud with all the negative self-talk, just the comparison, the self-doubt, the perfectionism, all of that. I think that's when apathy comes up as a result of just like feeling so beaten down that like I lose the drive to, I lose the passion to keep going. And so when apathy's up, it's kind of hard to move through that one for me.
Okay, that makes so much sense. Thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, okay. And then besides me, and then obviously your partner, John, does he go by John Paul? Is that his full name?
Yeah.
Okay. Who else is going to be on your team to help you achieve this goal?
I think my son, Bobby, just have him as a cheerleader.
Okay. Is it Bobby?
Yeah.
Okay.
My sister Amber.
Okay.
My friend Bianca. My friend Lauren.
That sounds like you have a lot of good support in your life.
Yeah.
And then let's go down to your weekly commitments. So what is the first baby step that you can start taking towards to pinpoint your ideal audience and client?
So there's an exercise by Casey Baker that she has you kind of write out you have to kind of go into the mind of we had to make this list and figure out our diamond insight. So there's some exercises. I can't remember exactly what they are, but those I think would be helpful for sure for me for one, it helps me figure out my diamond insight. And then it takes me deeper into figuring out the pain points of the avatar.
So you haven't done these exercises yet?
I did I did a meditation and journaled about that one, but there's a couple other ones I haven't got to yet.
Okay. So to do the additional diamond exercises by Casey Baker.
Yeah.
All right. And then what else would you like to start doing in order to identify your ideal client audience?
Communicate to people that are already following me. So it'd probably be great to make some posts asking questions that relate to, the direction I feel like I'm heading. Seeing what people who are experiencing certain things in their life or trauma, health issues, just asking questions in regards to those things to see what people's struggles are in those areas, and getting to know, the women out there and what they're really up against right now, and what kind of support they're looking for. So I think that would be helpful too.
So would this be on Facebook or Instagram or both?
Both.
So that's basically market research.
Yeah.
Which is good because you know me, I'm a huge fan of market research.
Yeah.
Talk about it a lot. So market research and it's the thing that gets skipped. Oh my gosh, you're going to put me on a soapbox now. It's the thing that business owners don't do. And I'm like, oh my, that gives you all the answers. Like you're literally going to the source and you're saying, what are you struggling with? What do you desire? How can I best support you? And then when you have all those answers, right, it's so easy to create programs and content and know exactly how to cater toward your audience's needs.
Right.
So I love that you recognize that that is an important first step to take.
Yeah, I've learned about that one for sure.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I wish someone would have told me about it years earlier. That someone probably did, and I probably ignored it. But it's like the best thing you can do in your business.
Yeah. And like even with your program or your courses, you can just ask your audience and they can pretty much write like your course for you, because you get all the information of what they're looking for, and then it is exactly targeted to them because it's everything that they're needing. So yeah, it just makes it so simple.
Yep. And I truly believe too. So one of the biggest pain points for my audience, because there's new life coaches, is they have trouble finding paying clients or finding clients in general. And I believe that the reason is because we're not doing market research. We're skipping that step, and we're asking ourselves this big question of how can I find clients? And if you don't know anything about your client, right? If you don't know, what they need, what they struggle with, what they desire, if you don't know any of those things, you are not going to find clients at the end of the day. So this step is huge. And okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You have to be able to relate.
Well, and there's a quote I really like that says, a business is driven by the demands and needs of its customer.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? So if you do not know what are the needs of your customer, you don't have a business at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. And we see that out there, with restaurants and just every business out there, they all know who they're marketing to.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. Is there anything else that you want to commit to doing at this time?
Daily meditation, so that I can really get, I typically do it, but I've fallen off the bandwagon recently. The past couple weeks I have not been meditating, so I'd like to get back into daily meditation because that really helps me center and connect to my heart, which helps me get more clear.
Beautiful. Okay. Perfect. So I recommend sticking between anywhere from 3 to 5 things to work on, because we don't want to get overwhelmed. So is there anything else that is on your mind that you want to commit to doing?
Moving my body. So in some way, either dancing or exercise some way, because that shifts, that shifts my internal state. And that's something that will help me be able to stay focused, stay motivated, stay present, and stay committed to what I'm doing. So easy to get stuck in a rut when I'm not moving my body. So yeah,
And
body movement.
is that something you want to do every day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll need to do that daily.
Perfect.
I guess not weekly.
Yeah. And that is, I like that you're, committing to these more holistic type of things, which, makes sense because you're a holistic coach, right? But someone might say, well, how does meditating and moving your body help you to find clients? But like you said, it's the mindset and it's the
Right.
flow that you need to be in. And if you don't, or Jen Sincero says your spiritual gym, right? And so you have to get your body and your mind in the right place in order to operate properly. And I follow this as well, and it makes a big difference, right? Because if you're sick or you're stuck in a scarcity mindset, it is near impossible to effectively run your business. So
It is. And then it just spirals down and down, and you just get stuck in it. And so, yeah, for me, those are an absolute must. I have to, be practicing meditation and body movement and stuff like that. Otherwise I get into apathy or depression,
Right.
So, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. And next we'll go to your accountability plan. So how do we know that you're going to get these weekly commitments accomplished?
Well, let's see. For the diamond exercise, never done accountability with like an audience. So like, a live audience. So I guess I don't know what the possibilities of that look like. Because I don't know that I would want to share everything on my, Instagram or Facebook for accountability for each of those. So what are some ways people do that? I'm not sure. I'm actually drawing a blank right now.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'll be checking in with you every Monday on the Voxer app.
Mm-hmm.
Have you downloaded that yet?
Yeah. Okay. I have that because I use that with my, and I forgot to mention earlier, but I have one pro bono client. So I use that with my pro bono client right now.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So Voxer's a common platform that coaches use for accountability in between sessions. So if you could message me on Voxer tonight so we can get that set up. So I'll check in with you on Monday mornings, and I'll ask, were you able to get these things done?
Okay.
And then, like you said, the fact that we're doing this live, this is also another form of accountability as well. And
yeah.
And then at the beginning of each coaching session, I'm going to be checking in with you too. And I'm going to be asking, okay, we're going to review your commitments. I'm going to say, okay, what were you able to get accomplished? What were you not? So there's a lot of accountability already built into this program, but I also wanted to be open that if you had different ways to, suggest accountability as well, that we could do that.
Okay. Yeah, I think that just what we have built in feels really good. And yeah, I guess if you check in Monday, that would be good. I can't really think of anything else. I may share it on my social media if I feel like it, but I don't feel like I can commit to that because it just kind of ebbs and flows lately.
And what you can do is you can always tag me on your post as well, because I just enjoy, reading them, and then it shows me too that you did it.
Okay, that would be cool.
Okay. And then the last thing for our super goal number 1 is, how do you want to celebrate when you accomplish this?
I love receiving praise. So like receiving praise for celebration from you would be awesome.
Oh, I've got a lot of that to give.
My inner child loves praise. I'd probably also celebrate by cooking myself like my favorite meal and just vegging out with my partner and having a relaxing evening together would feel like celebration to me.
All right. So we have got our goal for, or we have our plan for super goal number 1. So this is how it's done. And then we will, over the course of 3 months, we'll create these other goals, but I don't want you to get overwhelmed. As you can see, you've got a lot already to do here. And yeah, just as goals come up, we'll create them. But yeah, this is a lot already. And
Awesome.
then on top of that, oh, I didn't mention, but another form of accountability that you're going to get is, have you downloaded the Microsoft To Do app on your phone?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is those weekly commitments, I'm going to put that on your app, and I'm going to
Okay.
assign them to you. And then as you do them, you can check them off, because I don't know if you're like me, but I love having like a checklist. And then when you check it off, it does a little like ding, ding, and it's like so rewarding.
Yeah,
So
I love checklists.
yes. And what I would recommend too, Heather, is your goal to like put it up somewhere where you can see it, like on a post-it note, or that way you can like visualize it every day. And people who write down their goals and can see their goals every day are much more likely to accomplish them versus when we
Yeah,
keep it in our head, which
very true.
you already know, but
Yeah. Otherwise, it just swirls in there and doesn't really go anywhere.
right, exactly. All right, so that's it for session 1. So we will be meeting next Monday evening for session 2. Thank you so much for letting me coach you today. And I have a set of questions I always ask at the end of my sessions. So we've got 3 minutes before my next client is, how can I acknowledge you today, Heather?
Oh, I think just for taking a leap of faith, stepping into coaching, and also taking the initiative to apply for this opportunity with you. I think that would be nice to be acknowledged for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yes, thank you for applying for this, and then winning out of over 30 people who applied for this position, and wanting to be so visible with your goals and your journey. So thank you for saying yes to this and giving yourself permission to play bigger in this way in your life and your business.
You're welcome. Thanks for acknowledging me.
Of course. All right, Heather, have a great rest of your night. And we will, also, I didn't mention too, but like I said, I do the weekly check-ins on Voxer, but at any time throughout the week, you can reach out to me and on Voxer as well. So if you have something you
Okay.
want to share, if you need a little pep talk, if you need motivation for the day, if you need to vent, you know, anything you need, just reach out to me on Voxer and I'll be there, and I'll
Okay.
get back to you within 24 hours.
Awesome. Thank you. That'll be helpful.
Hmm.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you have a great next call.
Thank you. Bye,
I'll see you
Heather.
next Monday. Bye.
Bye.